America, a country with some of the most brutal criminals in the world. And fighting back are some of the world's toughest cops. Yeah, he's round the back. It's a job where murder, drug wars and gun crime are part of everyday life. A job where doing your duty could cost you your life.
They're running! We got one!
Now I'm joining some of these cops on the front line in the battle against the bad guys. We got him.
Yeah.
Laredo, Texas. This is the real Wild West. Mexico's just a stone's throw across the Rio Grande. It's bandit country, where drug cartels rule with fear and bloody violence.
The danger is that saying the wrong thing to the wrong person may get him killed.
I want to learn how the crime gangs make billions from this border and experience what it takes to stop them.
You just never know who you're running after, so you just gotta be prepared for anything.
What it's like being a cop on America's front line.
Let's go, King.
I'm gonna saddle up with the law officers who are waging this war on crime. They are the Laredo Police, the Sheriff's Department, and the United States Border Patrol. Their mission is to protect the border and keep the vicious cartel out of town. Laredo is in South Texas. It's an international border city with its 4 bridges acting as checkpoints coming into the USA. In the 60s, it was the poorest city in America. And although it's now the second fastest growing city, the average wage is still only £150 a week. Millionaires are created from the legal import-export trade here, but it's the illegal trade that makes billions. The cartels smuggle drugs and people into the USA and don't think twice about killing to protect their profit. The Laredo citizens have been caught in the crossfire. It's straight down to business. I want to see how the police deal with the city's drug problem. At Laredo's police headquarters, the SWAT Special Weapons and Tactics Unit have a search warrant for the family home of a jailed Pistolero gang member.
The tip-off here is that the target house is under surveillance. Right now, they're going over situational information in this room. As soon as we finish with that briefing, we'll be headed right to the scene.
And what do you expect is at the house? What's the rumor?
We understand that there's firearms inside the house.
Okay, let's do it. The Pistoleros control the gun smuggling in Laredo. The police jailed one of its leaders in 2006, Roy Mendoza. How you doing? They now have a warrant to search his family home for drugs and weapons. Mendoza's son is thought to be living there, although he has no previous convictions. I joined the briefing as the teams are being given up-to-date intelligence on their mission.
I don't know if he pays them or not, but he has people hanging around him. He drives a white Lincoln Navigator, but we've also seen a red Toyota.
The surveillance team have done their job. There he is. That's our target, Mendoza Jr. The house has a real connection to a dangerous criminal element. I can feel the team's adrenaline building steadily. This is Joaquin Romero, the leader of the entry team. He's 31 with 8 years service under his belt. When you get there, you're going to give him a chance to come out, or you're just going in?
No, we're just going hard. Me and my team, we're gonna tear the gate down, and then after that, everybody's gonna make entry through the hole that we make. And then there's no warning.
No warning, just bang.
No, yeah, that gives them a chance to get anything that they might have ready. So this is like a hard entry.
The real thing, man. So he's just told me that they're basically going to go straight in, no negotiations. They've just set up and go in the front line with the boys. So the lads that are going in first, hopefully there won't be any shooting, but if there's any shooting, that's when it's going to happen. So I'm going to go in with them and hope this holds up. The surveillance team at the location have given the green light and we're on our way. I'm about to ride in their armoured truck known as the Bearcat. Just so Gaza knows, I've got me pad gazzer. That's what you should have had, mate. In '87. Do you expect gunfire? No training can substitute this, eh?
No, sir.
We take the lead and there's no turning back now. Heat is unbelievable. I don't know how he's got a balaclava on.
Yeah, it's only like 110 degrees.
The Bearcats' job is to destroy the gates at the front of the location. These boys' job is to storm out and put themselves in the firing line, then make entry into the target house. Great, it's exciting, real exciting. You can tell the boys are buzzing, they're buzzing. Getting close now. There's a lookout there. He's on the phone. There's the Escalade and the red car up there. We're in it. Go on, boys! Go, 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 go. They're rigging the gates up. They're going to pull the gates up. Here it goes. Here goes the gates. Go, 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 mate, go! There he is. There's one there. There's one there. Oh, the car's going. The car's going. Look. Oh, fuck! We've got the car there. We've got this car down there. They're in. Is he the one we're looking for?
One guy here. One guy right here.
I think he's a lookout. They've secured the car. There's firing going on in here. I had a shot in there. They've got everything covered, all the windows. Shit, the adrenaline's unbelievable. Anyone in there?
I don't know yet. So far, I don't think they found anybody.
Was the guy in the Escalade the target? Was he the target or was he just a lookout? He's the target. So he was already in the car.
Con madre.
¿Está bien?
Sí, ahorita no está.
Kind of surprised as they're popping out of that navigator.
Yeah. Did you grab him? Was it you who wrestled him down? Yeah. The entry teams are clearing through every room in the house to guarantee there's no surprise shootout. This was his car. He was in this navigator when he jumped out to go. They blocked him in there. They jumped out. They hooked up onto the main gate, reversed it out, pulled that out. He's sitting in this truck in the car. So the lookout guy that we passed must have told him. So he was in the car, but we all pulled up. Looks like he's gone to put it in reverse. He's then got out. They see him get out. He comes running out. The SWAT guy that we was with just went over and just jumped all over him, got him, secured him down. But the car, he grabbed him out, but the car kept going. So the sergeant pulled up behind him and blocked him in and crashed straight into his car. When they arrested him, put the handcuffs on him, he didn't seem too bothered, I'll tell you. Whether they'd moved it already, I don't know. But the adrenaline, I was shaking with the adrenaline. It was great. I'm just glad that they didn't come out shooting, you know. I'd have had to throw my cell phone at them. They didn't give me no guns. They give me this, though. I'm in Laredo, Texas, where the cops are trying to prevent Mexican cartels and local gangs from seizing control of the city. The SWAT unit are carrying out a warrant on the home of a jailed gang member. Now it's time to look for drugs and weapons that are allegedly here. The entry teams retreat and let the other cops get on with searching for evidence.
Hey, Vinny, the quintessential poster for every bad guy's house.
Yeah, I got that in my house. This is the scales and the Ziploc bags, look. So I don't really want to touch anything in case people come in.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna come in and search everything. None of mine. Really nice house. You know, if he hasn't got a job, this is unbelievable. We can smell. You can smell marijuana in it. He was a target, yeah. Saw his big tattoo there that we saw in the briefing room. Mendoza, that's his name. I want to see what Mr. Mendoza Jr. is really all about.
You talk English?
Who are you?
From England. I do some movies, yeah. I think you're going to be in the movies now as well.
I've got nothing but a gun. Come on in the 60 seconds?
Yeah, I've done that one, yeah. They've all seen that. You haven't got 60 seconds in your collection.
Yeah.
You have? Nice house, man.
Oh, my dad's.
I like the marble.
Oh, the floor?
Yeah, nice.
My dad said it cost a lot, but...
They've tipped the house upside down, but so far found nothing they can pin on him.
The baggie of marijuana, but it's empty.
I can still smell it.
The sniffer dog can only find empty bags, and I spot what the cops are up against.
That's his own surveillance. They're watching the police are watching them. Shows it there, look, he's got 4 different views of the outside. They knew these were coming.
Finally, the guys check his last possible hiding place.
¿Squad también? No. Chinga madre, nunca habían cuidado entre uno nomás, uno man quiere todo.
You got more DVDs than me, bro.
Man, look for yours.
I did, there's not there.
Did you find it?
No. I thought you was my pal.
There you are, man. Now I could shake on it. Nice meeting you, man.
This time, the cops haven't found any guns or drugs.
The only shit that I'm gonna say, I already knew everything that they were coming.
Yeah.
It's because they talk too much. Fucking, they say we're gonna go and hit this. They talk too much to their girlfriends. You see, they talk too much to their girlfriends.
Yeah.
Their girlfriends go and tell their daughter. Their daughter goes and tells me, and they talk too many shit. So that's how everybody knows.
This is his dad's house. His dad's in prison as one of the head of the Pistoleros. Pistoleros are probably one of the worst gangs because they're gun-related. They're gun dealers mainly. He knew they were coming, mate, and whatever was here ain't here no more. And there was definitely some stuff on the scales, some white powder on scales in there. But so I had the boys are splitting out now, and it's a real downer. I mean, the adrenaline and everything, you know, shaking with adrenaline earlier on, and now it's, you know, the storm's settled and calmed down. Being here with them, actually in the action like that, it just shows the intensity, you know. I mean, that was like us going out and playing football on a Saturday. They were all buzzing, they were hyped up for it. They'll settle down now and hopefully have a glass of beer, but we'll move on anyway.
On this occasion, Mendoza Jr. is officially charged only with resisting arrest and has to be released before nightfall. His case has yet to go to court. In a small city where word gets around quickly, it's tough for the cops to keep things quiet. Investigator Joe Baeza was the officer who hooked me up with the SWAT unit. He's been fighting crime in Laredo for 10 years.
We will do whatever it takes to maintain stability and safety in our community and also for the rest of the United States. The buck definitely stops here.
Joe is patrolling one of Laredo's busiest entry points from Mexico into the USA, the World Trade Bridge.
The cartels, the drug pushers, they all use this great veil, this great forest of truck traffic to hide their narcotics going into the United States. If we rest, they win, and people's lives are changed because of it.
Around $10 million worth of drugs cross over the 4 bridges in Laredo every day. It's a constant battle and a massive task for a small force. It calls for complete dedication.
The cost at times is the ultimate sacrifice. You have to be a little crazy to be in this work. I would say that we have a take no prisoners attitude, but that's exactly contradictory to what we do here. We take as many prisoners as possible. the overall majority of all the officers on patrol all have long rifles. They carry AR-15s, M16s, Colt 9mm submachine guns, and they're very efficiently and thoroughly trained to use those firearms.
The drug cartels and narco-terrorists are killing at will over the border in Mexico.
There's a war of terror being waged across, where if you behead 2 people, well, the next guy has to come back and behead 4.
This deadly crime wave is so out of control that the Mexican government has had to call in the army to protect its people.
Criminals never will take control of the country.
In Texas, anyone can buy a gun, but in Mexico, it's against the law. So guns are trafficked one way and drugs and people the other. $11 million worth of cocaine and 3 tons of marijuana was seized in just one weekend. It's all-out slaughter in Mexico. The cops here in Laredo fight to prevent that lawlessness from coming into the USA. I'm going on patrol with hotshot cop Jesse Jimenez from the Sheriff's Department to discover how all the trafficking works.
Fits you just fine.
Okay.
We're patrolling Route 83. It runs parallel with the Mexican border for 150 miles. It's an infamous smuggling highway.
A couple of months ago, we received some information that they were storing 20 tons of marijuana on the Mexican side, ready to get crossed.
20 tons.
Ready to cross. Vinny, these guys will try anything in every which way to smuggle their narcotics, and they always end up getting caught. Sooner or later, they'll end up getting caught. We'll definitely get something tonight. We'll definitely get something tonight. 7-3, kind of be 10-8. Check that, bro.
We're soon called as backup to another incident just up the highway. 2 passengers and a driver have been stopped. The officers are checking their stories as we arrive on the scene.
Do they know the driver?
They claim they do. They claim that they've known the driver for a long time.
They got no ID on them?
I don't believe so, or Mexican ID. I know that they got conflicting stories. Usually that's a good indicator of something that's going on illegally.
Jess is saying these 2 are illegal.
They're going to be taken into custody by Border Patrol right now. They have no resident alien cards or paperwork to be here in the U.S. legally.
Laredo is a honeypot for illegal activity. By constantly watching the highways, the officers try to tackle the problem as soon as it reaches the American soil. It's 8:30 at night and still about 100 degrees. But there's no stopping now for Jesse. He's just got the call for a raid on a suspected drug stash house. All the officers are gathering at a nearby parking lot, and they wait for the order to move in.
Our CI just made contact with a target house. Confidential informant just made contact, so we're gonna verify to see if the narcotics is still in the house, so we can go and have consent to search.
It's confirmed. 2 suspects have been spotted at the target house, and the boys roll out immediately to make the arrest.
We're here already. Let's dismount. Let's go.
As soon as the cops arrive, the suspects burst out of the target house and make a run for it.
They're running! They're running! They're running! They're running! They're running! Run! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! They're running towards the riverbank. Running towards the riverbanks.
The Mexican border means freedom for the suspects, and it's just 2 miles away.
You went in here. Check underneath the trailer. You got him? Where's he at? Where's he at? He's underneath the bed. Mason!
Mason! Mason! Mason! Mason! Get him! We got one! ¿Dónde está la camisa blanca? Get him up. Let's go.
This first man is led away for questioning when a neighbour gives Jesse the wink that our other suspect might be nearby.
Still searching for the other subject. The subject was wearing a white shirt, white t-shirt with a...
With the border so close, the subject has nothing to gain by giving himself up, but everything to gain if he makes it across the river.
Here. The creek is about maybe 2 miles from here. Yeah, that's probably why they thought about it and said, we might as well try to hide. You don't know if he's behind the wall waiting for you with a gun in hand and, you know, ready to shoot at you whenever you come around the corner. So you should always keep your weapon raised.
The other officers couldn't find any drugs in the location. The man under arrest is an illegal Mexican immigrant. He will be sent straight back to Mexico.
Running after somebody, it's a adrenaline rush. You don't know really who you're running after. You can be running after one of the drug cartels or one of the members or a hitman or somebody that just committed murder. I mean, you just never know who you're running after, so you just got to be prepared for anything.
Policing here means dealing with the constant threat of armed criminals. The heat can be stupefying, but that threat keeps the cops alert at all times. I'm on the US border with Mexico. Even at sunset here on the Rio Grande, it's around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I've come to the city of Laredo to learn how the police are tackling border crime here. With drugs and illegal immigrants streaming over the border every day, it's a full-on task. I'm now out on the night patrol with Deputy David Nemke. We've just pulled a guy over for alleged drunk driving, but he's got more trouble in store.
Might be a little bit of cocaine on the seat.
Yeah. Could be coke on the seat. I think it's a drunk driver. Got Budweiser in there on the side there. And there's a box of Budweisers in the back there as well. If it's coke, what happens?
You just make sure it matches that. It should match pink over blue like that, and that means it's positive. So, he's going to jail.
Drugs that are smuggled across the border end up in stash houses. And Deputy Jesse Jimenez is on the scene when one's busted in East Laredo. After a surveillance team identified the target, it was Jesse who arrested him by tackling him in his own backyard.
We discovered some 5 kilos of cocaine, and a little bit of marijuana.
The undercover work has led cops to a big score. These drugs won't be making it to any street dealers.
That is cocaine. Each one of these squares is approximately 2.2 pounds, kilo of cocaine. Street value? Here in Laredo, it's about 15,000 a kilo, and upstate can be, or up north in the northern states can be anywhere from 30 to 45,000 a kilo. Yeah, then on top of the pantry. Usually they've been sent out from cartels in Mexico. That is marijuana. That's marijuana. You're looking at roughly maybe 7 to 10 pounds of marijuana.
That was found up in the attic.
The word is there might be 5 more kilos in the house, so the boys continue the search. While Jesse heads into the attic, Captain Ted Garcia investigates a child's bedroom.
We found a .22 caliber rifle with a scope. What we look for are the semi-automatic and the handguns. And some of those either go into Mexico or they're used for local crimes, so that's what we try to seize.
Just verifying to see if it's cocaine.
No joy with the extra stash, so Jesse bags up the evidence.
I'm gonna take it back to and test those packages to see if I test positive for narcotics. Yeah, it definitely feels good. Taking drugs off the street feels good.
Laredo is being flooded with the Mexican cartel's drug loads. I want to find out who's working for these cartels. It's time to meet some of these gang members face to face. I'm off to Laredo's top security jail. It's full to the brim with gang members, smugglers, and killers.
Hopefully we're going to go in and speak to one of the inmates and find out what he's done and all that stuff, you know, just have a chat with him. But it's a little bit off the cuff at the moment, so we'll see. Just hope he don't take me as a hostage after that's you know.
Commander Juan Hernandez is in charge of this jail. He's going to introduce me to the prisoners. But first, I want to know what I'm up against.
What are the dangers then?
Well, the dangers is that saying the wrong thing to the wrong person may get him killed.
Yeah.
The danger to you may be that that they're in jail for murder and things like that, and you know, putting a feather in their cap by you know, striking a known person may be something that they won't think twice about. You okay?
Yeah.
Let's go out there.
He's scary enough, I don't like the others.
It's time to meet my first inmate. He's been in prison before. This time, it's on drug charges. I feel tense. Any jail can be explosive, and I don't want to say anything that oversteps the line.
All right. How long have you been here in the prison?
Pues yo tengo ya como unos 20 años encerrado.
Got about 20 years in jail.
Really? When you go out, the gang's on the outside, you have to go back into that gang? You can't get out of that? Is it?
I can answer that question.
Okay. What are the dangers out there for these young lads? Let's presume that one guy was into drugs, running drugs or...
That's the worst thing you can do, get involved in drugs and smuggling and all that, they ain't no good. They're not gonna take you nowhere over here dying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What would he have to do on the street for them to, whoever it is, to come, put them in the cemetery? What sort of things?
I don't know, maybe you rip them off or you make a bad deal. You never know, it's hard to say that. It's hard to answer that. I think it's say, oh, this guy may rip me off or this guy maybe do something wrong, they got stopped and they put him over and they got busted and you got pissed off so you put a hit on it, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, man, and good luck with everything.
So getting busted by the cops could easily mean someone putting a hit on you.
This is the area where when the hit is going down,
This is where it
goes down.
Yeah.
See, the cartels belong to Mexico. These gangs are homegrown. They belong here in this region. This is an area, the home of the Hermandad de Pistoleros Latinos. It's a specific gang that belongs here in this area. This is their birthplace. The Mexican mafia has a strong area here in the border.
Yeah.
And so they control drugs along the border here. The sale of drugs and collecting of taxes, to use a word, on other people's sale of drugs.
Yeah.
And so the cartels are reaching out to these people because there's already a structure in place and utilizing them and their structure to get whatever business they want to accomplish. Either drugs on this side or eliminate targets. I'm
now going to meet someone who has carried out these orders. The commander's told me that the man I'm going to meet has committed murder for the cartels.
How you doing? How long have you got to do?
Right now?
Yeah.
How much time am I gonna do? 55 here?
55?
55.
I'm not going to ask why. Man.
Yeah, they gave me 55 years and 15 running concurrent.
How long have you done?
Right now, since November 2007.
2007,
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah, going 2 years.
Do they mean anything, your tattoos?
What tattoos?
Yeah.
Only this one.
What does this one mean?
Again, Texas Syndicate.
That's your gang?
Yeah.
Are you everybody in that? Is everybody in the same gang?
No, it's not just friends.
Just friends?
Yeah. Yeah, they gotta put the same people in the same tag.
Oh, they have to?
Yeah.
Oh, because you'd be...
No, we're pissed and everything, but they just for their own reasons, people. So they separate everybody.
Yeah. Well, wish you all the best, man.
All right.
What do you get paid?
Anything from 10,000 to 50,000, a Mercedes-Benz, or depending on the target.
Yeah. So who are the cartel? Are they guys like you in suits and ties?
No.
Or they like him?
The criminals are people like him.
Are they? And is the cartel run by fear?
It is fear. Among the members and among the people that they do business with. They're about bottom line.
The Mexican mafia are probably the toughest, but the pistoleros, they're the gun boys. They're actually the gun runners. But we were just talking in there, and he said the meanest of the mean, the baddest of the bad of this big area are in here, under his watchful eye.
The Rio Grande River is the thin line that keeps the bloody chaos of Mexico out of America. And so even the river is a battleground in the fight against the gangs. I want to find out how the battle is fought, so I'm heading to the US Border Patrol's HQ.
You can see the river there. They basically aim at certain portions of the river where people cross.
Yeah.
And it could be undocumented migrants, it could be obviously smugglers of drugs, from the sensor to the tower and then to them here. And then they'll dispatch the agents, for example, whatever sensor it is out on the ground.
Morning, U.S. Border Patrol Communications, G5, can I help?
I want to see this action for myself. So I'm back out on the prowl, this time with Nick Mazatix, a supervisory Border Patrol agent.
A lot of times we get call-outs from the cameras. Hey, they're seeing some people crossing. You know, we'll take off, you know, try to intercept them, try to push them back. You know, we have apprehended marijuana loads here, so, and even in the day, so, you know, anything can happen.
The Rio Grande runs the length of the US-Mexico border for about 750 miles. Everything that's smuggled into Texas has to come across the river. This is the international dividing line. With Laredo's 4 city bridges, all under checkpoint surveillance, some people take on the river itself. The murky green water is just yards wide in places, and in the dry season, it's barely waist deep.
You know, a lot of these people are from the interior of Mexico, and they do not know how to swim. You know, so they're hanging on to some old inner tube a smuggler gave them, and that's their, you know, their lifeline, basically.
So there'll be points where they come and they can go to the smuggler and he'll say, right, you go on this certain time.
And of course, these smugglers have, you know, scouts on the U.S. side, scouts on the Mexican side, you know, on cell phones and vehicles, you know, trying to pinpoint where we're at, where the ground units are at. You know, they're looking for their opportunity, their opening, you know, to try to cross. That's the M4 carbine with the 223 round. That is an FN 303 less lethal launcher. It launches as a less lethal 68 caliber projectile that just kind of uses like an impact force. And that's been pretty effective for us dealing with the rocking incidents. Usually it's the smugglers that are throwing the rocks, not necessarily the, you know, the aliens coming across.
Not too long after finishing up on the river, I catch a sight of some of the smugglers myself.
On the camera, they just saw one swim across. Look, there's a couple over the other side. You see them? See him over there? Here he is. There he is. Two of them. Yeah. They're gonna swim back?
Yeah, they're gonna swim back.
He's just there, he's hiding. You can just see him through the bushes. See, there's a couple of them. See him hiding in the bushes. They're laughing. Just yards upstream, the Border Patrol agents have caught two women trying to cross illegally into America. But the men that smuggled them over are tantalisingly out of reach. And they know it. Here they go. There. They've got a rubber ring. Unbelievable. Just hiding in the brush. I'm in Laredo, Texas. I'm finding out how the cops police a city riddled with gang-related border crime. The US Border Patrol sees truckloads of contraband here every month, and I want to see some of this evidence for myself. This is Armando Romo. He's a veteran of 15 years in the Sheriff's Department, and he is responsible for a lot of the seizures I'm about to see.
And on this road, what we usually have, we have large quantities of marijuana. Large quantities of marijuana.
We're on the way to the Sheriff's storage facility. This is where they keep all their evidence locked up.
We see those two freights over there, they're all full of dope.
Are they?
Yeah.
What street value's in one of those?
A couple of million in each one.
Wow.
Or maybe even more.
I want to see what the cartels are actually prepared to kill for.
Smell.
Whoa! Most dope I'll ever see in my life, I should think. Oh, smells, doesn't it?
That evidence is about to be destroyed before it's had the chance to reach the marketplace of Middle America. Inside are their most recent loads.
That's our latest seizure they had. The guys had 1,384 pounds of pot marijuana.
Oh, that's
weed.
That's weed, look at that. Yeah. How much is that worth?
Well, it's $506 a pound. I'll tell you, I got a calculator. There it is.
Wow. Look at that.
That's what these boys die for.
They die for it, huh?
About $650,000.
$1,000 right there.
$600,000. Fucking hell. I don't like that shit.
It's in cities like this where people die trying to profit from feeding America's drug demand. This is the last line of defense. It's the Laredo border checkpoint, 29 miles north of the city, on the Interstate 35. It's the only major highway traveling north from the Tex-Mex border. The volume of smuggling going upstate here is so high and the rewards are so great. The cops can never stop everyone. They can only make it as tough as possible.
This is the second checkpoint coming in, and this is where if they get through the first one, you know, over the bridge, they come in here, and it's where they seem to capture most of the stuff.
We've only been here 10 minutes and already we've got some action.
There's a truck being pulled over, K9 alert, so they've pulled the truck over. It could be anything from the driver having a joint to people in the back or $1 million worth of marijuana, so we'll just see. You can definitely smell marijuana in there. As soon as he opened that door, I could smell it.
The dog alert right here underneath the bunk bed. So we see a couple of indicators, like all the screws been tampered. They removed these screws for some reason.
Yeah, but they've got this machine here, and they just drive it up the side and it scans it,
Shows anything that shouldn't be in there. Each one of these machines cost $1.2 million, and Laredo was the first in the country to get one.
Well, what we do, we scan the whole truck. You can see the spare tire.
Yep.
That's the rim and the tire.
Yep.
There's nothing in there. We're done.
No big haul this time, and the driver is allowed through the checkpoint. No stopping now till Dallas. With them dogs and that, I'd say the chances of getting through are very minimal. I wouldn't try it. That night, I'm on my final patrol with Romo. There's been a report of a dead body found on a bridge. We're only a few miles from the final border checkpoint I visited on the Interstate 35. Oh my God, look. Fuck. See the body on there, look. Jesus.
Okay. Here you go, right here. As you can see, there's a shoe there. Look,
Yeah.
If you look down.
Look at the blood over there.
Yeah, there's the body right there.
Oh my God.
He was hit by the train.
Jesus. All I could see was a big mass of blood and flesh. You can actually smell the blood. But you can smell the blood. It's that, it's only happened 15 minutes ago. What they do, they hide in the brush because the checkpoint's down here. Then what they do, the train wakes them up, and they believe if they sleep near the tracks here, the rattlesnakes won't get them. So that's why they're here. Because what they do then, the train comes through slowly, they then wake up, they hop on it, and then they get straight through the barrier into America. He said it happens all the time. It's a chilling way to end what has been for me a mind-blowing visit to Laredo. Seeing this broken body close up is a tragic and graphic reminder of the terrible human cost that's paid out on this battleground border.
It's unreal, man. Unreal.
It's a city where the poorer population are at the mercy of the billion-dollar cartels. The highways are awash with drugs, and smuggling is an all-too-easy option. Being a cop here is not just about seizing contraband and catching illegal immigrants. It's about sheer dedication and the ability to stay focused in the face of a deadly enemy. Which makes these guys amongst America's toughest cops. They're going in now. Coming up next week. There, across the road.
Hold on.
I'm in New Orleans patrolling with a special operations unit. Yeah, he's round the back.
That's suspected heroin.
Where drug dealing is rife and guns have flooded the streets.
You know you shouldn't be having a gun at 16, though.